Industry, Trade and Cooperatives Minister Adan Mohammed expects to sign a new trade deal with South Africa that would allow more products to access that market.
NTV's Larry Madowo spoke to him on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Durban.
China is increasingly becoming either number one, number two, or number three at worst as far as Africa is concerned. And so the question is, how should China be viewed from the continent perspectives? What are their businesses doing? And what should we be thinking about in how to deal with those kind of scenarios that I think would probably hit us like a brick wall, and then we don't notice what has hit us.
Kenya's foreign direct investment projects kind of dropped 55% to 116 billion shillings last year. Is that something that's of concern to you?
Overall, we are happy with how Kenya is doing in terms of attracting FDIs. And only yesterday, Ernst & Young released its report of attractiveness for foreign direct investments in the African continent, and we were ranked number 2 after Morocco.
How are you making sure that you're remaining near the top?
Whether you are talking about, the biggest can manufacturing company in Emali on your way to Mombasa, or actually $450 million of real estate development in the heart of Nairobi by the AVIC Group. There are lots of investments that is happening. Ours is to make sure that that momentum is not lost and we remain the most competitive markets in the region as far as investors are concerned.
You've also taken meetings here at the World Economic Forum on Kenya's trade relationship with South Africa. What came out of that?
The African Union has tasked trade ministers to see how the 3 major trading blocs, COMESA, SADC and EAC, actually come together to form one trading bloc. Our desire and intention is to see how we can take a leading role to actually fast track that process and get that agreement signed hopefully by July this year. And then of course there are some other specific bilateral nature between us and South Africa. For example, we have a ban of avocados from Kenya into South Africa relating to a large extent on some sanitary and phytosanitary situations. We have agreed to explore that and discuss that further with a view to by July having that resolved as quickly as possible. So we will be engaging with the relevant authorities on our side and in the South African side as well to actually deal with those kind of issues. And of course, once we get SADC and EAC work together, we will have access to our tea, coffee and many other products into this market that are today attracting duties as high as 45%.
The trade between South Africa and Kenya is still imbalanced in favor of South Africa, and overly so. Why is that?
I think to a large extent because South Africa has been a much more industrialized nation, and we import from them a lot of manufactured goods, and especially machinery and equipment. And ours has been so far largely agricultural. And even then, there are some products that don't come into this country. So we are paying a lot of attention to this imbalance and to ask the question, why are these things happening? And as I mentioned, we are now having a roadmap in how to address these kind of issues and come to the conclusion on how to resolve this amicably in everybody's favor by July this year.